Let's go ahead and move out to the West Coast out here. We got the Oklahoma City Thunder up 2-0 on the Minnesota Timberwolves. G-Mike, all right, buddy. We obviously got the MVP and SGA out there. Is this one a surprise, man? Up 2-0. I'm kind of surprised in both series are up 2-0 right now. Is this a surprise to you, though?
This is much less of a surprise to me, but I did think it was going to be 1-1 because I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are a great team, right? But it's just with them, the second game, they couldn't get anything out of Julius Randle, and he's had an amazing playoffs this year. So, like, having one bad game, you can't fault that, right? You can't fault that. But, you know, you need something more from the other players. Rudy Gobert, 30 minutes, 2 for 5, fucking 9 rebounds, only 5 points. What is that? You're a $200 million center. What is that? Mike Conley, 1 for 6, 1 for 4, only 3 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. But, man, you got to score a little bit more, bro. And especially that you told your team, yo, I'm about to retire. I need you guys to do it for me selfishly. Well, where you at? You know where to be found. Naz Reid, you're supposed to be a 6-man of the year candidate. And this whole playoffs, you've been wishy-washy, more wishy than anything. 3 for 8, 0 for 5 from 3, 10 points. Yes, you had 8 rebounds and 2 blocks. You're still impactful, but dude, you gotta be scoring 15 points every night, bro. Like, what is this? It's just, and then when you look at OKC, we know what OKC's about, man. They're a well-oiled machine, bro. They play great defense all together. They play offense all together. They got the MVP for a reason, 38 points. Yeah, a lot of people like to call him a foul merchant, which we'll get into it. But, dude, like, this whole series is going to be on the fact that Minnesota is going to be able to keep up with the Thunder from quarter 1 to 2. But then when halftime comes around, OKC takes it up to another gear, just like the Indiana Pacers, and the Minnesota Timberwolves can't keep up. They can't keep up. And Anthony Edwards shot 1 from 9 from 3. That sucks, but you guys still almost lost by 20, so it doesn't really matter. Like, you need more from your role players. Obviously, Julius Randle had a bad night. If he had a good night, maybe this game would have probably ended by, like, OKC winning by 5 or 3. But even in the first game, Julius Randle had a great game, but then OKC just took it to another crazy level in the third quarter. That first half of the first game, they were missing so much. They probably missed so many more shots than they ever did this whole season in that first half, and they were only down 4 points going into halftime. You can't win like that when you're the Minnesota Timberwolves, man, and especially against a OKC team like this that arguably has one of the best teams in NBA history.
Honestly, like, it's just been sheer domination from OKC, and literally every single statistical category aside from blocks, they are just demolishing Minnesota in. They got the lead in points, rebounds, assists. They have 8 more or 7.5 more steals they're averaging per game than Minnesota. And then the field goal percentage, over 12 percentage points. 3-point percentage, they've got almost a 10-point lead. And then free throws as well. It's a 6 or 5.5 point. So, like, they're more efficient. They're dominating. They are dominating on the perimeter defense. They're dominating on the boards. And we're just seeing it as well. Like, they smother you. The second you bring that ball across half court, they have the guys. They have the bodies, not just from the starters, but even on the bench. You've got guys that are getting 2-3 steals a night at multiple levels of the team. So they are doing their job. And then we're seeing it. We're seeing more of a quicker, faster-paced OKC squad that is just being able to blitz and absolutely demolish and smother to put it frankly, a slower, plodding Minnesota squad. You know, Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert. You know, it's like a twin tower bigs combo. They're showing why speed matters in the playoffs. Like, depth matters in the postseason. And it's just it's a fascinating matchup to see, speed versus size. And, you know, Oklahoma City's hitting all their shots. They're doing everything they can. And to be frank, as great as they've been dominating in terms of 3-point percentage, Shea's only shot 17% from 3-point land like this playoffs. Honestly, he's been quite inefficient from everywhere aside from the free throw line. So I still don't think that they've played their best basketball yet this series. And unless Minnesota finds a way to take advantage of it, they're going to get dog walked, and I could honestly see this going to a sweep.
Yo, for real. For real.
Yeah, I can see this one going to a sweep as well. And, there's definitely a lot you can untake with this one, but this is also, and I know it's always been like my go-to is to talk about Ant, but I mean, these are some of the problems with that he's had is that he's gone 17 to 39 in 2 games. That's not going to get it done for you if you're supposed to be the dude. They need his other players to step up without a doubt. So they're going to have to really reconstruct how they're put together because they're slow. They're just relying too much on Anthony Edwards. I think at this point, I think Anthony Edwards is a great player. Don't get me wrong, and I've been bashing him for a long time since we've been doing the show, and it's more of just how he's been going. But my point is, I'm saying is that I think it's where the difference with like an SGA and an Ant. SGA, I think that he does so much more than Anthony Edwards does on the team. Anthony Edwards, I feel like gets in a rut, and if he's not really helping you out any other ways. SGA, on the other hand, like you said, he's only been shooting 17% or something. He's not been having the greatest necessarily offensive games, but you would never know it judging by how the team plays because he still runs to the offense, though then plays defense, and is very efficient in what he's doing. I feel like Ant kind of gets in these ruts where if I'm not making shots, then he's not really creating much else for anybody else. Am I wrong on this one or no?
I would disagree a bit, right? Because he has 6 assists this last game, right? Yeah, he shoots more 3-pointers than Shea because Shea attacks the basket a lot. And I'll bring this up a little later when we're talking about the foul metric. But Anthony Edwards shoots a lot of threes, which is why he led the league in 3 points made this season. He went 1 for 9, so he had a bad night of shooting, but he still scored 32 points. He was still efficient. And he went to the free throw line too. He was 7 for 10. But when you got guys on your team who are going 2 for 11, again, Julius Randle just had a bad game because he's had a big playoffs. But he went 2 for 11. Rudy Gobert only 2 for 5. Why are you a big man like him and you're only taking 5 shots? Dude, it's not like Chet Holmgren is this big shack of a dominant center that can stop you and whatever. No, you're stronger than he is. Push him out of the way. Hartenstein, he's a little stronger than Chet, but he's shorter, so you can put the ball over him. Do a little sky hook, do a little something. Work on your offensive game. But obviously, we know Rudy Gobert isn't that person. But you look to the other players. Naz Reid, 3 for 8. 0 for 5 from 3. Everybody has a certain role. Naz Reid's role, when he comes off the bench, is to score the ball. He only had 10 points. You're not going to win like that, bro. And especially against, like I said, arguably one of the best teams in NBA history in the OKC Thunder.
Yep.
Yeah, this series is just interesting, and I think that OKC is just showing how and why they've been one of the most dominant teams of the season. They've been the talk of the season, really, and they are just showing you why. They get it done on both ends of the floor. They can score and they can defend you, and if you can do both of those two things, it's kind of obvious that you'll be up in a series. Yeah,
they're more efficient. Like I'm
100%.
looking at it right now, they literally made half of their shots last game.
Yep.
They're more efficient. While the Minnesota Timberwolves, they went 42%.
Yep.
Yeah, and you brought it up a little bit ago. SGA obviously is now the MVP. So I love it. I like the way he plays it. I like his game, and I like the way he plays. I just feel like he's just a guy that just doesn't waste a lot of time, and he just seems he's so efficient to me. He's like a pure basketball player that I think that does everything that you're supposed to do right. So I think he's a deserving MVP. I think Jokic probably still should have got it, but I understand why that SGA ended up getting it, though.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I definitely was more in the camp of Jokic just because, the season he had. But I definitely do understand SGA. I think that he's a guy that's always been on the precipice of getting the MVP. His two-way efficiency is incredible. The fact that he not only puts up a lot of points, and he does for a guard, he gets a good amount of boards and assists too, especially as a scoring guard. But he also plays great defense as well, and so I think that that's something that you can't overshadow. He's averaging He averaged close to 2 steals, averaged a block this year too. So you're always getting at least like 3 stocks, steals and blocks a game out of him. So you can always expect to have him not just contribute on the offensive end but the defensive end. And I think that if OKC is able to go all the way this year, he's able to win championship, knock on wood, able to win Finals MVP, knock on wood. He's going to cement himself as, probably the lead guard, the best guard in the game today. No offense to Luka Doncic, but only one of those guys is winning chips. Only one of those guys is winning MVPs and Finals MVPs. So, and it's making an impact on both sides.
Exactly. Like, I love a player that makes an impact on both sides, not just one side of the ball, because we're not just only playing defense here, guys. We're not just shooting threes and going for layups and going for fouls or dunks or whatever the case is. No, you need to get back on defense.
Yep.
And try to get some steals, try to get some blocks, try to get some stops, try to get some turnovers. It's not a one-side game. It's not a one-side game. Yes. And that's why I think that Shea deserves the MVP. I mean, I'm not the top. I'm not in the field of, if you're on the best team, you should be the MVP if you're the best player on the best team. But this year is just, to me, it's proven. He's on the best team. He's the best player, and he plays amazing on both sides.
Yes,
and that's why he deserves it to me.
And it's not just his physical perspective either. We talked about Ant's ability on defense before the two. He's a very physical guy, very stout, 6'4", 225. He uses a lot of physicality on that end. But Shea, he's about 6'6", about 200 pounds. So he's not the biggest guy out there, but he is very quick. He's very smart, very cerebral. He doesn't really waste a lot of opportunities on that end. He's great in terms of one-on-one defense, but he's great at reading the passing lanes. He's great at being a pickpocket. He is a really just great all-around defender that doesn't just use his physical abilities, isn't just great at positioning, but he's just great at both. So it's a rare combination on that end on the perimeter. And again, we combine it with his insane offensive ability. So it's, I think, a much-deserved MVP campaign for him. And I would love to see him cap it off with a championship and cap it off with a Finals MVP. And he's on track to do it.
Facts. And just to stay on topic with him, do you guys think that Shea is a foul merchant?
I would say not necessarily like a foul merchant in terms of he's somebody that's somehow getting to the line. The past couple of years, you can maybe say that, he's getting to the lines a little bit more. But Dwayne Wade in the 06 finals, he went to the line how many times? And we're
not talking about the 06 finals anymore ever again, because
I'm just
every single time. 91 free throws.
No, but nobody calls Dwayne Wade a foul merchant, though. He's just a guy that slashes to the rim. Shea is very much in that mold of he's either slashing or he's gashing at the three-point line. He doesn't really play a lot of mid-range ball. It's just more the modern game. So I don't necessarily think that he's trying to go for fouls. He's just attacking the rim, and because when you're a guy that either attacks or shoots threes, you're gonna get free throws. It's just a natural incident of the game. He's only averaging, his free throw attempts are actually down from a few years ago. He was averaging 10 or 11 free throws a game. Now he's at around 8 to 9. So he's not. It's not like he's baiting.
No, I think he's a product of how the NBA is now, though. I don't blame SGA, and I don't think his points all come from the free throw line at all. It definitely helps. It pads the stats a little bit that you can get to the line and get those. But I think he's just smart and using what the rules are right now. If you change the rules because you don't want these guys doing that, then we'll have another conversation. If his points go down from 32 points a game to 18, and now it's half of it was the free throw line. I just personally think that he's just a smart player. He's a smooth operator, and he's able to get these fouls because other defenders don't know how to guard him. Well, and if you leave him open, he's going to make the shot. So you have to play him physical, but he's able to make his free throws, which I think that's an underrated thing as well, is actually making the free throws. You can get to the line. They're free throws. Yes, they're supposed to be easy shots, but how many of these star players are really not good at shooting those easy shots? Especially in the clutch situations. There's some guys that get to line all the time and don't have that great of a free throw percentage.
Yeah, and I will say, to push back on the narrative too, like, you would expect the guy that's the free throw merchant would lead the league in free throw attempts per game. He doesn't. If anything, he actually leads the league this year in field goal attempts. So the dude is just being aggressive and getting shots up. That doesn't mean necessarily like he's getting fouls on every single one. So, but color me crazy.
He's led the league in attacking the basket
Yep.
for the last 3-4 years.
Yep.
Kobe did it in 2010 playoffs. LeBron did it in 2009 playoffs.
Yep.
My guy Dwayne Wade did it in 2006 playoffs and
Michael
NBA
Jordan did it.
Finals. Michael Jordan did it. If you guys do not know the game of basketball, you will call him a foul merchant because you see what he does and he foul baits and he gets the fouls just like Jalen Brunson, right?
Brunson does it a lot.
But if you know the game, you know that the big time stars when the NBA transitioned into this whole foul thing in the mid 2000s, it's been like that, bro. It's been like that. The top players, the smart players, the high IQ players know how to get the defenders off the ground and foul bait. It sucks. I don't like it. I don't like that whole pump fake, get the defender to jump up in the air, jump up into him and get the foul. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But the NBA calls it. So if you're trying to win a championship,
do what you gotta do to win.
Not use all your resources to win? Like it's like if you're not using all your resources to win, then are you really trying to win?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's like a major difference in like what SGA is doing and like what you were alluding to, BC, and James Harden. James Harden, I feel like, was the supreme guy looking for fouls. He's one that almost pretty much created that leap into the guys and get them the fouls, whatever. I still think Harden was a great player, a great scorer, but I do think that Harden's game really did predicate on that the getting the foul calls on him a lot.
Oh, but, yeah, and go ahead.
I hate the fact of like these guys though. What really drives me nuts about the NBA, and it's been getting progressively worse, is borderline the crybaby mentality of like they're so used to getting calls now, and I'm so over the yelling at the ref the whole way down and not getting back on defense. Or come on, man, like just get back and go play again, man. You know, like it's not like the ref's going to go all of a sudden go, wow, you insulted me, you're completely right, never mind, let's call a foul now. Like get back on defense and go play. Like you're not going to get every call. Sometimes, yes, the refs are human and they miss a call, they make a mistake, sure, but you're not going to get the call by yelling at them saying, hey, did you not see that? Insulting them, but then the other team scores points because you are too busy whining about it. Ergo, one of my favorite players, Luka Doncic. I will admit it. But having said that, man, like I'm just so tired of the NBA doing that. Like, come on, guys. Like, move on.
No, you know what really grinds my gears?
Oh, Peter Griffin's the Family Guy reference.
Is when they go like this. Yo, review it. It. It's like 2 minutes into the game, 5 minutes into the game.
As if you, the player,
shut the hell up and get back on defense, bro.
As if you, the player, have any say on what gets reviewed. It's the coach that's going to review it. Let him do his job. You do your job. Shut up and play D.
It's not even that. If you think about it, you only have one per half. And if you use one, you lose it and a timeout. So it's like, why would you want to use that in the second quarter? In the beginning of the second quarter, like wait till the end. Maybe try to make the game a little more tighter, get more momentum going into the locker room. But no, you want to walk around going like this, like if you're freaking Harry Potter.
It's like, sir, you're up by 10. Calm down. We do not need to review this. But I will say as well, when we were talking about earlier with Harden and foul baiting, Shea has never led the league in free throw attempts. James Harden has led the league in free throw attempts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. 7 times. He has only led the league in field goal attempts once, whereas Shea's led the league in field goal attempts once as well. So that's just funny to me that people want to call him a foul merchant. It's like, dude, he's never led anything. He's never led the league in free throw attempts, but he has led the league in free throws made. I want to say he's led it the past 2 years. You want to blame him for anything, blame him for being great at making free throws, and that's it. James Harden, 7 times. That is the epitome of a foul merchant right there.
The sheep are going to follow the sheep.
Correct.
One person says it, another person says it, 10 people say it, 100 people say it, without even watching the game, without even looking up the stats, without doing your research. You're out here calling him a foul merchant. Like if he does that all the time, if he does it on purpose, and if he's the only one that has ever done that.
Yep.
And even honestly, like not to throw shade, but even Doris Brooke during a freaking game called him a foul merchant, bro.
Yep.
Like, yo, you know
Yo.
what? Get her off of there. Don't let her call another game. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Don't let her call
Dude,
another game.
I love that you mentioned Embiid as well, because you know how many times Joel Embiid has led the league in free throw attempts? Twice. So he's more of a foul merchant than Shea. But again, we're calling Shea one because he happens to have a decent amount during the playoffs. Like, and that's the point though that you made. Where do all the sheep learn it from? ESPN, Fox Sports, all these other all the
Twitter.
major media markets. Yeah, exactly. Instead of looking at the context, instead of looking at the facts like we do
Exactly.
here at Views on the Stands, we research our stuff. They get it from these talking heads on these media networks. But, you know, come at us, ESPN. We're good for it.